We are live. We are live.
So
Right?
JTP, you've had quite the week. You're in Japan. You've had an earthquake. You had a big release. You have a lot going on. Why don't you tell us what have you been up to and how was the earthquake?
I was sleeping.
Did you
If
roll out of bed?
if it would have been bad, fortunately there was nothing. It was north of Tokyo. Yeah, it was 7.6. It's pretty big. Uh, we It was at 11:30 p.m. something like that. So about the same time as now. And But then back then I was sleeping. So I didn't feel anything. So fortunately, and no one was hurt or anything. So, but yeah, I learned it in the morning. So the joy of traveling like that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but as you said, we had a big release. So, Beetle released ODCS version 3.1.0. So the Open Data Contract Standard. Um, it's been 14 months in progress. Okay, so it's yes, it's great. Um, there's one of the key features we added is a relationship. So I think it's not as profound. I wouldn't say it's not a knowledge graph. Okay, that's not the idea, but we know that relational data is relation, and so yeah, I know. And we managed to model it, and manage it to model it in a way that we can also expand and think about other types of relationships after. So I think that's one of the key feature. It's also stricter. So it was a little loose before, so you can add stuff to the contract. So we decided, yeah, that's not a good practice. So yeah, all the details on our blog. I'll shoot the URL in a chat. So what you guys? You said so. New York, not New York. You were in New York this week.
I'm in Boca today, so I'm here for a holiday party.
Oh,
So have a visit with the one of our data management teams working on a product called ITX. So spending the day down here, taking them all for a nice lunch, and that's why I'm all dressed up today. Usually you get me in my casual Actian Friday gear, but yeah, a little different today. So,
Yeah, I know.
Ola, how's your week been? We were in New York earlier this week, and now you're back home again.
Indeed, we were in New York at a great meeting. A lot of great announcements coming up. Obviously, we can't speak too much about it, but it was an internal meeting. But some great things ahead. I think it's going to be a great 2026 with a lot of interesting things. So yeah, that was really great. Now I'm back home. Been having a lot of meetings today, and yeah, basically planning a lot for 2026. Right, that's really what I'm doing. POCing with some customers, writing some stuff, inviting people to various podcasts and events that we are planning for next year. And then, yeah, I think I'm pretty proud of. I think we should talk a little bit about the name that I think we agreed to call this Substack Live, which is Data Misaligned. It falls into the like format of the various things we do: data explained, data explored, and now data misaligned, which is really to emphasize that there's so many things that crash and go wrong in data, and we should talk more about that. But obviously, we will also talk a lot about things that are going on. But basically, yes, that will be the name of this Substack Live. And I think it's pretty cool that we are actually doing this on 3 different continents. Emma, you were still in New York, yeah? No, but you're still in the U.S., right? I've
I'm
actually
still in the
forgot where
US,
you're.
yes, just in
Yeah,
Florida. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Next
Yeah,
week I'll be in Dublin.
Florida is still part of the United States. So, anyway.
Yeah. Yes,
Let's not comment on that, but yes.
yeah.
Let's see.
Yes, we keep the subject on misalignment, but we should really focus on data. I think we should focus only on data.
You're
Yes,
Oh,
tricky.
talking about 2026, you recently published your predictions for 26. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
my predictions. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I think the most so I see three predictions that in the horizon, and then one like overall consequence of that. So my three predictions for 2026 is that structured data will be a less strategic priority than it was in the past, because data in itself was seen as oil, as this raw material that like and you can love and hate that metaphor. I really don't care, but it was seen as the raw material to accelerate companies and make them more profitable, make them go faster. Now, with the focus shifting into AI, structured data that was the key to this kind of acceleration will get less of an attention from the C level. As that's quite obviously simply because the challenges of structured data are still there. We still need to fix that, but the attention span for in executive meetings are too short to have a focus on everything. And so I think that would be less of a focus, and that the focus will move towards AI, and which turns me to my second prediction, which is that unstructured data will be on the rise. It will get more and more strategic attention, simply because that is where the goal for AI lies, right? So a lot of new focus on unstructured data. Um, and then my third prediction is that because of these two things, because of the shift towards unstructured data from structured data to unstructured data, I think that certain technology vendors in the data space will be very, very challenged, and others will see an opportunity in this and move in a direction that not only keeps their relevance, but actually increases their relevance. So, two examples of this. I think the most challenged category within the traditional data management space is BI, traditional BI, and the move away to something else is something that will challenge a lot of BI technologies, business intelligence technologies. I think if you are a data catalog vendor or a knowledge graph vendor, then you find yourself in a situation where you have something really precious to offer, which is a context for AI through graph technology. And so I see some of the players that have traditionally worked in the modern data stack space, in the data space before the current AI hype. They can quite smoothly transition into being really, really well relevant still, but with a slightly different focus, not only focusing on structured data, but simply also focusing on being a source in itself for AI. Which brings me to my overall prediction is that I think 2026 will really be a good year for ontologists. I know that in the US you hype ontology more than we do in Europe. But in any case, I see ontology as an ontologist. Like all big companies have ontologists hired. You see them getting more and more strategic attention because there is a growing awareness that this is the kind of profession that will deliver crucial context to AI. So you can see all the major tech vendors, all the big pharma companies, basically all of our manufacture. You see a rise of ontologists, and I think that role will become even more attractive going into 2026. So those are my predictions. Yeah.
How about you, JGP? What do we got for 26?
I think that the you know there's another article I wrote this week. So there's weeks I wrote. There's weeks where I don't write anything. But this week I wrote two articles. One was about the ODCS 3.1, but there's another major event in the standard world, which is that MCP is not anymore a property of Anthropic, but it's now a Linux Foundation project, part of a new foundation which is called the Agentic AI Foundation, part of the global Linux Foundation. And I think this is. I think we're getting a little bit out of the chaos of AI. Uh, all the children in the kindergarten were playing with their things in their playground, and we realized that there's a lot of money going into AI, and we need to be able to get that a little bit more structured. And so I think that's it. It probably that's where it links a little bit with what Ole is saying, is that we're getting closer to this more structured world. Okay, I mean, not structured data, but unstructured data, maybe, or structured data, but in a way of the way we're doing things with AI, the way it's everything seems to be running around AI anyway. So you can't be against AI, or you're just out of a job these days. Also, at the conference I was this week, there was Linus Torvalds, who actually was very interested. It was very interesting what he was saying about AI, which he doesn't seem to be a big fan. But anyway, but enterprise want to go there. The good thing is they need good data there. One way to structure the data is definitely through data contracts and data products. And the fact that now MCP is also an open standard means that there's also going to be more investment. Okay, so the post I wrote, Ramona, a friend of the show, commented that, wow, there's a lot of money going there. Yes, just the base membership just brings a lot of money in this foundation, because there's a need for this money to actually promote, to create groups, to create a conference. There's a conference in New York in April around MCP and around the Agentic AI Foundation. So, and I don't see, one of the comments I also added this week is, is ODCS going to disappear in favor of MCP? But I think we don't have this layered, first, no, I don't think it's going to disappear. I don't think we're competitive. I think we are actually there's as much of a synergy between the data contracts, data products, and MCP. Okay, it's a little bit like the ISO model in a network. The 7 layers of
yeah.
We've got a protocol layer, and we've got the payload. Okay, so ODCS and ODPS are definitely the payload for that. So I think, so going back to the production part, I think that this is where we're going to see a lot more synergy, a lot more embracing of all the standards, and that are going to be more and more visible in more and more products. Okay, so everybody wants to have an MCP server in the product. We have one. A lot of people are adopting data contracts and data products. We are at the forefront of this as well. So, okay, not promoting our company, but I think we're
I do think, data contracts are the key to success, right? Because no one's going to fix all of their quality issues. No one's going to fix all of their governance issues. So if you try to boil the ocean, you're going to fail, right? So if you can narrow the focus and say, okay, we're solving for this use case. Here's the contract and the product that's solved for this use case. Let's demonstrate some.
Yeah, I think MS connection
And
is a
be confidence in the outcomes of the AI. I think that's where we're going to see that shift next year. Because we're doing a lot of conferences at the moment, and every conference, people just can't get enough of AI and just understanding it and kind of building on their AI literacy. And everybody wants to be successful, but very few are rolling out enterprise-wide AI initiatives beyond, use of Copilot-like tools, putting some chatbots across documentation and knowledge bases and so on. And that, that larger scale AI deployment across the enterprise, I think, is something that we'll start to deliver on in next year. And I do, as part of my current presentation, I talk about how Gartner predicts that 60% of AI projects that aren't supported by strong data initiatives are going to fail by the end of 26. And I think once you have an AI initiative that fails, it's going to be almost impossible to rebuild trust in the organization and the outcomes of the AI, right? If you give somebody a shitty experience, right, why would they ever trust the outcomes again? So I think it's going to be a really interesting year. But I'm so happy that, a year ago we started like really seriously looking at data contracts and how do we make them part of the platform and, automate the delivery of data products using contracts. So without trying to sell the Actian ideas, I think generally the use of data contracts and data products is the key, I believe, to success with data-driven AI initiatives.
I was in Tokyo. Well, still in Tokyo, but I was with some of our colleagues there at the conference, and we had a lot of discussions around that, and the idea of just how AI can be also deterministic. Okay, because the thing is, one of the way to actually get to this trust is that you in the case of LLM, for example, is you ask twice the same prompt, okay, and you get at least similar answers. And this idea of determinism can actually also be part of an AI contract or a data contract. So I think this is also the kind of things we're going to have to experiment with.
Absolutely.
What have you guys got on tap next week? I'm traveling to Ireland and I can't wait for Christmas. I am a big fan of Christmas, but I bought myself the Lego aquarium for Christmas. So I'll be starting to make that next week. Yes. I also am my own Santa Claus, right?
I saw the Lego Enterprise in a store in Tokyo. It was difficult to resist.
Did you?
This thing is so huge. I don't know how I can actually travel with it, but out of stock everywhere except at the Lego store in the Tokyo station. At least until now. So, I'm getting a lot of Kit Kats, okay, because that's a real stuff here, okay, in Tokyo. So I try to keep this one not open until we see each other. I have doubts, but I'll do an effort.
Yeah, so I'll be.
So what are you up to next week, Ole?
Yeah, next week I won't be traveling. So a lot of internal meetings, a lot of writing. I think I will hold back on some of the announcements until next year. Next month I'll be traveling quite extensively. I'll be in Paris. I will meet some of our customers and prospects there. I'll have meetings with the Paris team also in Actian. I will also go to Helsinki to do an event with a partner we have over there. And then I will go to Austin to Data Day, Texas. So looking forward to meeting a lot of cool kids in data.
Schedule, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot for 1 month. But I look forward to all of it. So basically next week and the rest of December I'll be home, and I also need to have a couple of weeks without traveling.
And I'm going to do a little bit of self-promotion because yesterday we launched a raw and unedited version of my O'Reilly report. So that's available for download on the Actian website, because I want to get some feedback on that before we polish and publish it as a written report. So I don't know if you guys have read it yet, but it'd be good to get. I would love to get your feedback on it.
Thank you, Emma. Yeah, you asked so many questions. I got used to you interviewing me and JP. But obviously, we could also ask you questions. I saw you released the report yesterday. It's super interesting. I took a first glance, and it's super interesting. You can download it for free. So obviously, I encourage every one of our listeners to do that. And Matthew, I also look forward, or Matt, simply, I guess, I look forward to meeting you in Day-to-Day Texas also. We had meetings set up at a point in time where I was very, very busy, but I look forward to meeting you in Day-to-Day, at Day-to-Day. And so Emma, I think, what motivated you to write the report? What are the key elements in it? How are you planning on using it going forward in your presentations and so forth? Can you share some light on that?
Yeah, so I want to write a book, and I want to write a book that demystifies data and AI for the business user. And nobody believes that I can focus for long enough to write a book. So the report was a test of my ability to sit and focus and actually write. They also hadn't seen anything that I'd written beyond, presentations and short form, papers. So this was a test, and I really enjoyed the process, and I really enjoyed working with O'Reilly on this. They brought in another author to actually review it and to provide me with some feedback that will be incorporated in the final version. I got some really insightful feedback there. So looking forward to finishing off this weekend, actually, is when I'm going to put the final touches to incorporate the suggestions that were made by another author. But I'd love to get you guys to look at it maybe over the holidays, so that when we come out with it in January, that it's got the input that you can provide and your years of experience in this whole world. But next year, I really, really desperately want to write that book on demystifying data and AI, because I think the business community really needs AI literacy and data literacy. And, one of the interesting stats that I found this year is that by the end of next year, 28% of jobs are going to require data literacy. 28%, it's massive, because you think about, industries like manufacturing, where, they have people that are in roles where you wouldn't think they need to be as data driven. But when I was at the event in Atlanta 2 weeks ago, I was talking about someone who's responsible for production line. And he was explaining to me how sometimes if there's a vibration on the production line, that it double counts the items that are being made, because they're doing a count, and when it shakes, it recognizes it twice. And he's like, they have to be completely data driven in production, and people that, across their organization need data skills. So I want to write that book. The reason I wrote this book was a test, but also I think it's mostly for a technical audience, and it's about the fundamentals of data management and making sure that we're all on the same page with respect to what they are. And one of the things I enjoy doing is citing examples. So there's lots of examples in there, use cases in there. So yeah, maybe next week we can talk about your feedback on the book. Not
Sure.
the report, the 40-page report, because that's all it is.
I put the link in our chat there.
Thank you.
So yeah, I downloaded it as well, and I didn't read it, but I looked for 3 words: product, contract, and iteration. And the 3 words are in, so I'm good. I did already. But
I passed. Whew.
I'll dive into it. I've got a long flight.
It'll send you off to sleep.
Yeah.
And you're welcome. All right. I guess, is this it for today? So we'll next week, or you both available?
Yeah, I think
For
we can
next Friday. Okay, great.
our Christmas
Probably
party.
be our last one of the year, right?
Yes,
the 19th. Oh, yeah, because the next one, the next Friday, then I guess, is the day after Christmas.
Yeah. So
next Friday the 19th, we'll do a Substack Live, and maybe we'll do one after Christmas. I can show off my Lego.
Yeah.
All right.
Please do. Okay, everyone. Take care. Thank you for
Have a great
listening.
weekend.
Bye, everybody.
See you.
Safe travels.
Bye.